All right, we're going to take a look at the lesson 12 homework. And for number 1, first thing we're going to do is we're going to multiply. And I'm just going to use two different methods to multiply today. I'm going to use the traditional method and the area model method. So for the first one, I'll do the traditional method. And let's just put 2 1/10 times 3. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the 3 times the 1. I'm going to act like there's no decimal there when I do this part. So I'm going to do 3 times 1, which is 3. And then 3 times 2, which is 6. And so I have a 6 and a 3. So then what I'm going to do is I'm also going to estimate right next to it. So in doing that, I'm going to take 2.1 and I'm going to say, okay, what's that closest to? What's the closest whole number to 2.1? And that would be 2. So 2 times 3 would be 6. And then I'm going to say, okay, well, where would the decimal have to be in order for that answer to be close to 6? And so it would have to go in the middle because 6 3/10 is the closest thing to 6. So I'm also going to pick that here, and that's how you do the first problem. All right. For B, I'm going to multiply using the area model. So it has 4.27 has 3 digits, so I'm going to make a rectangle with 3 partitions. And I have 4 ones. I have 2 tenths. And I have 7 hundredths. And I'm multiplying all those place values by 6. So I want to start with the smallest place value first. So I'm going to do 6 times 7 hundredths. So 6 times 7 hundredths is 42 hundredths. And written in standard form, 42 hundredths, I'd have to make sure that the 2 in 42 is in the hundredths place. So that's going to look like this. All right, then I'm going to do 6 times 2 tenths. That's going to be 12 tenths. And to make 12 tenths, I got to make sure the 2 in 12 is going to be in the tenths place. So that would be 1 2 tenths. And then I'm going to do 6 times 4 ones, and that would be 24 ones. And that equals 24 in standard form. So then what I would do is I would add all my partial, these are partial products. I'm going to add them all together. 24 plus 1 2 tenths plus 42 hundredths. Make sure I line up all the place values. And so 2 hundredths, 6 tenths, 5 ones, and 2 tens. Now the other thing I want to do is I want to estimate the product and compare my estimation with my answer. So 4 and 27 hundredths is close to 4. So 4 times 6 equals 24. So I need to, if I compare that to my answer seems reasonable. So if I had to pick out of these 4 possible answers, there is my answer, which is the third one. And it also is because this is the closest one to 24. Okay, for C, I'm going to go back to traditional method of multiplication. So I'm going to go 6 and 53 thousandths times 7. Again, I'm going to act like there's no decimal there, and I'm just going to take my 7 and multiply it by each of the place values. So 7 times 3 is 21. Carry the 2. Okay, then I multiply the 7 times 5, and I got 35, and then I add the 2, and that's 37. So I put the 7 down. Oops. Second here. So I put the 7 and carry the 3. Then I multiply 7 times 0, and I got 0 plus 3, which is 3. And then I do 7 times 6, which is 42. And I go ahead and I put 42 at the end. And then to decide where the decimal goes, what I'm going to do is I'm going to estimate. So 6 and 53 thousandths is close to 6. So 6 times 7 is 42. So then I ask myself, okay, well, where does the decimal have to go in order for this number to be close to 42? It has to go in between the 2 and the 3. So it goes right there. And there is our answer. We're going to circle it right there. And then the last problem, we're going to go ahead and use the area model for the last one. So I see I have 3 place values for my decimal, so I'm going to put 3 partitions. And I have 4 ones. I have 8 tenths. And I have 2 hundredths. And I'm multiplying by 9. So I start with the smallest place value first. 9 times 2 hundredths is 18 hundredths. And in standard form, 18 hundredths looks like 0.18 with the 8 in the hundredths place. And then I'm going to do 9 times 8 tenths is 72 tenths. Oops. Is 72 tenths. 72 tenths is 72 with the 2 in the tenths place, so that would be 7 and 2 tenths. 9 times 4 ones is 36 ones. So 36 ones is 36. And then I'm going to go ahead and add all of my partial products together. So I'm going to add 36 plus 7 and 2 tenths, taking care to put the 7 under the 6 because the 7 is in the ones place. And then I'm going to add 18 hundredths. So I have 8 in the hundredths place, 3 tenths, 13 ones, 3 down, carry the 1. So I have 43 and 38 hundredths. Now I'm going to check the reasonableness of my answer by estimating. So 9 times 4 and 82 hundredths is very close to 9 times 5. 9 times 5 equals 45, and 45 is pretty close to 43 and 38 hundredths. So that also tells us which one of these to pick. And that's how we get through the first page.